In other news, Ukraine has dropped a bombshell. Kiev has rolled out its biggest ever cruise missile, codenamed Flamingo, a weapon designed to strike deep inside the enemy lines and also strengthen and bolster Ukraine's reach inside Russia. Our next report telling you more.
A sleek predator of the skies. Deadly, precise, and unlike anything Ukraine has ever built before. Ukraine has unleashed its most powerful cruise missile yet, Flamingo. Ukraine has been relying on its Western partners for artillery shells, armored vehicles, tanks, and even American-made F-16 fighter jets since the start of the war. It's the Western weapon which has helped the Ukrainian soldiers to keep Russians at bay. But Russia's superior firepower and the policy change over weapon supplies from US President Donald Trump has pushed Ukraine towards a drive to be more self-reliant. President Volodymyr Zelensky says Kyiv produces about 40% of the weapons used at the front and looks to increase that amount sharply. The country that started with drones seems to be shifting its gears. Ukraine is now focusing in developing missiles that can strike deep inside Russia. Flamingo is Ukraine's most ambitious missile development. The big beast has a 6-meter wingspan, weighing in at 6 tons. With a range of 3,000 kilometers, it can strike anywhere in central Russia, easily reaching Moscow or St. Petersburg or even some distance into Siberia. It has a top speed of 950 kilometers per hour and a cruising speed of 850 to 900 kilometers per hour. With pinpoint accuracy, the Flamingo is designed to cripple the enemy before they even see it coming. Ukraine has fielded the Neptune anti-ship missile, which gained global attention in April 2022, when it sank the Russian cruiser Moskva in the Black Sea. Newer Neptune variants have been modified for land attack missions, offering extended ranges against ground targets. Ukraine has also developed the Grim-2 or Hrim-2, a tactical ballistic missile with a range of up to 500 kilometers. Flamingo is proof that Ukraine is ramping up domestic arms production significantly. Despite heavy wartime pressure, these projects show Kyiv's determination to expand its indigenous strike capabilities. Bureau Report, WION World is One.
On to Gaza now. Sound of airstrikes blaring, smoke rising into the sky, houses, marketplaces turning into rubble. These are scenes from southern Gaza's city of Khan Yunis, which is reeling under fresh Israeli strikes. An overnight Israeli strike on a tent encampment killed 8 people in Khan Yunis, bringing the death toll to over 62,000. As per Gaza's health ministry, and leaving hundreds of thousands of Palestinians wounded. Not just that, countless also displaced. In nearby hospitals, mourners gathered to say last goodbye to loved ones lost in the attacks.
The family is gone, my daughter is gone, along with her husband and children. They have been erased from the civil registry. Only their memory remains, their pictures, their memories. Their son-in-law, who had a car, has been martyred as well. They can't pull him out and can barely identify him. They became memories.
On Monday, Hamas said it accepted a new proposal from Arab mediators for a ceasefire in the Gaza Strip, even though Israel has not responded to it yet. Meanwhile, Qatari officials have rather hailed Hamas's response as positive. They said that Gaza's ceasefire proposal agreed by Hamas is almost identical to U.S. Special Middle East Envoy Steve Witkoff's plan, an earlier version that Israel had agreed to.
We have received Hamas's response, and as I mentioned, we consider it a positive response, and it is almost identical to what was agreed on previously by the Israeli side. However, we are still waiting for Israel's response to this proposal that we received. What can be confirmed, colleagues, is that we are now not only, as we always say, at a pivotal moment, a decisive moment, and so on. We are now at a truly humanitarian moment. If we do not reach an agreement now, we are facing a humanitarian catastrophe that will make the catastrophes that preceded it seem tiny before it.
Relatives of the hostages held captive in Gaza have also called on the Israeli government to secure ceasefire agreement and free the members of their family as soon as possible. All said and done, a breakthrough appears to be remote still. The United Nations has accused Israel of selective entry of aid into the Gaza Strip, which is inadequate to meet the food demands of the population. On Tuesday, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu passed a remark on his Australian counterpart Anthony Albanese. Bibi said that Albanese had forsaken Australia's Jewish community and betrayed Israel, implying diplomatic ties that are being tested by the war in Gaza. Now, with fears of fresh offensive by the Israeli forces, which had announced advancements further into Gaza, and no peace deal in sight for Palestinians, there seems to be no immediate respite as of now. India and China continue to work towards rebuilding ties after years of tension over the border issues. The day started with India's NSA Ajit Doval meeting Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi and saying that there has been an upward trend in ties. He said that over the past 9 months, as peace and tranquility have prevailed along the line of actual control, the LAC. His comments come after he and Wang Yi held the 24th round of border talks in New Delhi. After the meeting with NSA Doval, Wang Yi met Prime Minister Modi. During the meeting, Wang Yi is said to have handed over a personal message and invitation from Chinese President Xi Jinping to attend the SCO summit in Tianjin later this year. An invitation that Prime Minister Modi accepted. The Indian Prime Minister also emphasized that India remains committed to a fair, reasonable and mutually acceptable resolution of the boundary question, and also highlighted how peace on the border is essential for stable bilateral ties. Prime Minister Modi also welcomed what he described as steady and positive progress in ties since his meeting with the Chinese President Xi Jinping in Kazan last year. Now, Prime Minister Modi's upcoming trip to China will be his first trip there since 2018. Early in the day, NSA Doval said that Prime Minister Modi's China trip will give all these current talks a very special importance. Take a listen.
That with this new energy and the new momentum, that it is, this thing with your personal efforts and with the maturity and the sense of responsibility of our diplomatic teams and our missions in the countries, your ambassador here, and also our armies on the borders, we have been able to make it this thing.
Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi struck a similar note. He called for strategic communication, expanding common interests, and properly settling specific issues. He also said that both the sides are heartened to see the stability now restored at the borders, describing this as an important opportunity for growth in the relationship.
The acts we experienced in the past few years were not in the interest of the people of our two countries. History and reality prove once again that a healthy and stable China-India relationship serves the fundamental and long-term interests of both of our countries. It is also what the developing countries all want to see.
Well, Wang is currently in Delhi as a part of efforts to reset ties since the deadly Galwan Valley clashes of 2020. Those clashes marked the lowest point in relations between India and China in decades. Both the countries deployed troops along the line of actual control in eastern Ladakh. A breakthrough came in October 2024 when disengagement agreements were reached, though full de-escalation is still pending. Since then, the two sides have tried to stabilize ties by restoring tourist visas, not just that, resuming the Kailash Mansarovar Yatra, and now reportedly discussing direct flights as well. Remember, the diplomatic engagement between India and China is also happening against the backdrop of US tariffs. India's ties with Washington have come under strain. That's after US President Donald Trump imposed steep tariffs on Indian goods, including penalties for buying Russian oil. The tariffs take effect later this week. And at the same time, Trump has sought to court Pakistan, hosting its army chief in Washington and announcing new energy deals with India's adversarial neighbor. That's also added a sort of urgency to New Delhi's outreach to Beijing. For China too, India's participation at the SCO summit is extremely important. For India, N.S.A. Doval stressed that peace along the LAC and new energy and ties are essential for moving the relationship forward. He also reaffirmed India's adherence to the One China policy. This year also marks the 75th anniversary of India-China diplomatic ties, and both the sides say that they want to turn the page. For now, New Delhi and Beijing are calling this an opportunity.